What's a Copilot Workspace? How does it work? And is it worth upgrading to Copilot Pro just to access this feature? Let's discover it in the next few minutes. A GitHub Copilot Workspace is an agentic dev environment designed for everyday tasks. In simpler terms, it's a web-based feature you can access from your laptop, PC, or even mobile device, where Copilot acts as an AI agent capable of handling entire tasks. You can brainstorm ideas, generate a plan, and implement it. But that's not all. Copilot can also build and test your code in an integrated cloud environment to ensure everything works as expected. You can even share this environment with colleagues and iterate on it as much as you need. Pretty cool, right? So, how do we access it? First, you'll need to hand over your credit card to GitHub.
It's not about the money. Holy sweet mother of pearl!
Yes, Copilot Workspace isn't available on the free plan. Anyway, once you subscribe, you have many ways to access a Copilot Workspace. The simplest is creating a task from a repository by using the code feature and switching to the Copilot tab. For instance, imagine you have an old undocumented repository. You can simply task Copilot to generate your Java docs, and a workspace will be created. Copilot starts with the brainstorming phase, analyzing the repository and task details to propose a high-level solution, essentially defining what the final state should look like. Next comes the planning phase, where Copilot figures out the necessary code changes and commands to achieve the proposed solution. In this case, it's identifying all the classes and methods that need documentation. Once you're happy with the plan, you move to the implementation phase, where Copilot does the heavy lifting, generating the necessary code or documentation. Finally, we review the generated code, create a new branch, and open a pull request. And if everything looks good, we merge it. Done. The whole process took me about 5 minutes while recording, and I think it's a great example of how we can speed up a boring task, something we would never have done otherwise. In fact, that code had been undocumented for over 9 years. We can also create a Copilot Workspace from any issue in our repositories by clicking the Open in Workspace button. Copilot will then enter the brainstorming phase using the task details as its initial prompt. The task details in a Copilot Workspace are ephemeral, meaning they are copied from the issue but not linked to it, and this allows us to modify them, add more details, and iterate through the brainstorming phase if needed. As I already mentioned, the workspace is integrated into a cloud environment, which is actually a GitHub code space. This allows Copilot not only to modify code, but also to build and test it within this environment, eliminating the need to switch to our local machine or wait for a GitHub Actions pipeline to run and complete. I have to admit, the concept is very cool. However, in my experiment, the build was slow, and it failed when external dependencies like a MongoDB database were required for tests. Obviously, there's a solution, and it's to define properly the code space with a dev container.json file. However, it's not straightforward, and on top of that, sometimes the creation of the code space took forever, and other times it failed altogether or timed out. Other ways to create a Copilot Workspace session include selecting an existing repository or creating a new one from its main dashboard, and you can also bootstrap a project from a repository template by choosing the Open in a Codespace option. So, is this GitHub Workspace useful? Is it worth a Copilot Pro subscription? Well, that's hard to say. As you know, this is still a technical preview, and the GitHub Next team is still gathering feedback. I get the feeling that even they themselves are questioning its value, regardless of how well it's implemented. Personally, I think it's a very cool feature, but not something I'd use often. And the reason is that I already have Copilot in its AI agent form in VS Code. Just click this tiny icon on the chat and you get access to the Edit with Copilot feature. Much faster, easier to interact with, and there's no need to rely on cloud-based environments to compile and run tests. While I was recording the video, GitHub announced that this feature is now GA, but it also announced another feature, which is its agent mode, a more powerful version of the Edit with Copilot feature I just mentioned. I'll test it in the next video. That said, I can see the value of using workspaces for quick work on the go, maybe from a laptop without access to a dev environment, or even a mobile device. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to stay updated on what I'm working on, head over to my website and subscribe to the newsletter. But before that, like, subscribe and share so that everyone can learn something new.